For the fashion design group, we had a lot of inspiration when researching our carousels. We thought it was very interesting that our carousels were originally developed back in the medieval times, and how now they were well known and so traditional, yet include creatures of hybrid and several animals put together, and which is the opposite of the classic kind of theme. For our carousel, we decided to focus on a more traditional horse, only one created a merry-go-round. We started our process by deciding what we wanted our garment to look like. We did a lot of research on costumes inspired by carousels, costumes that include horses, and also circus-inspired clothing. We quickly decided that we wanted our skirt to be focused on our dress. We liked the idea of flaring it out so it looked like a circus tent, and then using it on the roof of the carousel with small horses coming out. Each of us was able to sculpt a small horse using magazine papers, masking tape, and a lot of time and effort. For several of us, this is our first time really working on 3D, so it took us a long time to figure out the parts of the project and how we would to put it together in the end.
Attached to our small horses, we used paper towel tubes that we sliced and then rolled a little bit tighter so they wouldn't be as thick. We constructed the skirt out of chipboard and cardstock so that it would fit Eliana, and then built the carousel horses off of that. Our group then added a ring for the bases that would support the horses on the poles. We wanted to use colored packaging tape on the base so it would match our plan for the top that Eliana would be wearing, where we use the material that adds structure and texture. We use that corrugated railroad paper to completely cover the skirt/roof. And finally, we finished the skirt with construction paper details to represent the ornate look you find on a carousel roof and the lights and things like that. Our group kept it pretty simple on the top. We wanted something with a V-neck that could be adjustable that would have an interesting look to it. We thought it should represent the movement and the excitement that is happening at a carnival or a circus. We first made a vase out of just a roll of brown craft paper and masking tape. We created the two separate scarf-like pieces. Once we fit them to Eliana's body with small adjustments, we then used colored packaging tape to add horizontal, vertical, and diagonal lines to represent the movement and the excitement and bright colors that you would find surrounding a carousel ride.
We wanted everyone in our group to be involved in our performance. Eliana was the model, and clearly she would be wearing the outfit. Livia was going to be our speaker and would be reading the speech. But we were working so well as a group collaboratively, we also decided we would like to make horse masks for the other members of our group to wear. This also helped solve the argument of who would be able to bring the artwork home when we were finished. This way we have pieces that we could call our own after the Olympics of Visual Arts is over. We created the horse masks for the other three members to wear and decided that Megan and Ariana would perform with Eliana and be responsible for creating lots of interest on stage and also bringing attention to the different parts of her outfit as Olivia describes them. The horse heads originally were going to be masks, but we had a lot of trouble seeing out of them, so at the last moment we decided to make them headpieces for easier movement on stage and better sight for the wearers. The horse heads also gave us an opportunity to paint more detail ideas like you would find on a real carousel horse because of the bigger surface area they had.
The fashion group was really successful at coming up with an idea and agreeing on what we wanted to do and how we wanted to do it. We really enjoyed working collaboratively and problem solving along the way. Making the dress completely out of paper project
products is definitely a challenge, and figuring out how to do it was not an easy task. Once we had it finished and our vision had come to life, we were so excited. Creating the actual performance happened in the last few days. We were really down to the wire, but we were able to rehearse and again agree on how we would choreograph it, what we would say, and were really open to each other's suggestions. Through this process, we not only learned how to become better artists, but I think we became better friends and better communicators.
It was really fun as their teacher to watch the fashion design group work. From the beginning, they worked so well together. They were able to collaborate on ideas, decide on what they wanted to create, and really do some research, creating a Google Doc and Google Slides where they could share information with each other, even from home. The projects for creative arts always take a very long time, and the problems that they are choosing for the Olympics are a big commitment. They decide in October what they would like to create, and then as a team kind of work together on how they can split up the work to finish it in the time given. My job as their teacher or their facilitator is to assist in how to create it, maybe how to break it down or what materials I could suggest that they use. And then I usually just kind of guide them along. This year was interesting because each of my groups decided they wanted to try to create these digital portfolios. And it actually worked out really well. It gave us a nice way to organize and kind of work at it as we went along. Once the fashion group kind of got working, they were full speed ahead most of the time. They kept adding more ideas and thinking about how it would affect their performance and really were able to see the big picture, which sometimes doesn't always happen with my fifth graders. I appreciated how helpful they were of each other and how everyone really supported the other group members in creating each piece. They were definitely not having the smoothest ride all the time. There were moments where things were not working and they had to totally kind of scrap the idea or rethink it in a new way. And they took it in stride. I think those are sometimes some of the best learning experiences for the students and helped them become more innovative thinkers and problem solvers. And that's really what I want them to get the most out of when doing this program. Once their project started to come together, you could see their excitement. Also, we were down to the wire on time, so we started meeting almost 3 or 4 times a week, pretty much almost every day. The snow days and vacation days and things really played a toll on our timeline, and the girls really stepped up to the plate in order to get this finished. They did a wonderful job, and I was most impressed with how their performance came together. Really, we were down to the last few days, and they were reworking their horse heads at the same time, but also writing their script and choreographing and giving each other suggestions. It was really, really beautiful to see. I appreciate all of their work, and I hope that they take a lot out of this experience moving forward as students, as thinkers, as makers, and as artists.